It is an immense honour to stand before you today to deliver this oration for Francesca Horsfield DL, an individual whose life and career embody the very spirit of the University of York, a commitment to excellence, a passion for community, and an unwavering dedication to the enrichment of public life. Today we welcome Francesca to celebrate a remarkable journey that has long been intertwined with this university, our county, and the historic city of York. While she may not have sat in these graduation seats herself, her impact on our institution is as profound as any who have walked these halls. Francesca's connection to York is born out of a deep, chosen commitment to our future, serving as a guide on the advisory board for the Department of Theatre, Film, Television and Interactive Media, something I personally benefited from when I was the very proud head of that department, and actively shaping our campus landscape alongside her husband Gordon, immortalised in the naming of Gordon and Francesca Horsfield Court at Langwith College. As major benefactors, she and Gordon were instrumental in the foundational days of the York Law School, helping to establish a hub for the next generation of legal minds, as well as the university's Centre for Applied Human Rights and the Holbeck Cinema, which remains my absolute favourite place on campus. As we stand here today, we do so with a profound sense of loss, but also immense gratitude as we remember Gordon, who sadly passed away in May of this year. Gordon was a towering figure of wisdom, a brilliant professional, and a true gentleman who's deeply missed by his family, this university, and the wider community. Together, Francesca and Gordon were a remarkable couple, dynamic, generous benefactors, and exceptionally good friends to the University of York. By Francesca's own fond admission, they balanced each other beautifully. She would be the intrepid soul ready to jump enthusiastically out of a plane, while Gordon would be standing firmly on the ground, affectionately advising her to stop. It was precisely this perfect harmony of adventurous spirit and grounded wisdom that made their shared life and their philanthropy so incredibly impactful. At the heart of their joint philanthropic legacy is their visionary work with the Holbeck Charitable Trust. Through this cornerstone of regional philanthropy, they championed a flagship scholarship programme that explicitly searches across Yorkshire and the Humber to reward and uplift exceptionally talented young people who have faced severe social, personal or educational adversity. By breaking down financial barriers and recognising resilience alongside academic brilliance, the programme has unlocked higher education for generations of students who might otherwise have been left behind. To the hundreds of Holbeck scholars who have walked this path, Francesca has been far more than a name on a trust. She has been a steadfast role model, a mentor of immense generosity, and a champion of their potential. Beyond the university, Francesca's career is a masterclass in civic duty, leadership, and public service. For a quarter of a century, she served with distinction as a magistrate on the York bench, shaping the local justice system as deputy chairman and as chairman of the youth panel. Her peerless understanding of civic life culminated in her appointment as the High Sheriff of North Yorkshire and her continued service to the Crown as a Deputy Lieutenant of the county. In every role, from her early professional roots in the Foreign Office to her time on the Independent Monitoring Board at Wetherby Young Offenders Institution, she has used the mechanisms of law and state not to restrict, but to protect, reform, and serve. Yet, Francesca understands that a thriving society requires more than just justice. It requires a soul. As a passionate custodian of regional arts and heritage, she has lent her formidable governance to Yorkshire's most treasured cultural pillars. She served as a director of the York Minster Fund, ensuring the preservation of our city's architectural heart, guided the Ryedale Festival Trust, and as a trustee of the world-renowned Leeds International Piano Competition, helped champion world-class artistic excellence from its formal opening. Her 10 years of service as a director of St Leonard's Hospice further speaks to a lifelong instinct to care for her community at its most vulnerable. To look at Francesca's impact is to understand what it means to lead a balanced, purposeful life. For all of her public accolades, the true centre of Francesca's world is her family. As a devoted wife, mother to Tori, Millie and Josh, and grandmother, she has anchored her life in the values of love, nature, and generational encouragement. The very same care, wisdom, and guiding hand that she offers her own children and grandchildren are what she has extended so generously to our student community. She understands that building a better future starts with lifting up the next generation, both at home and in society. To our graduates, as you prepare to step out of these doors and into your own futures, look to Francesca Horsfield. Look at how she turned her sharp intellect and deep empathy into a lifetime of meaningful contribution across the bench, the arts, her family, and the wider world. Let her example remind you of whatever field you enter, you have a responsibility to engage deeply with the world around you, to protect what is valuable, and to serve your community with passion. Francesca, this university and the wider county have watched your achievements, your leadership, and your immense generosity with profound pride and gratitude. In recognition of your outstanding contributions to heritage, the arts, public service, and the life of this city and institution, it is my privilege to present you to the Vice-Chancellor for the degree of the Doctor of the University, honoris causa. Thank you.
Through the power vested in me by the University of York, it couldn't give me any more pleasure than to confer upon you the award of Doctor of the University, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Vice-Chancellor and Counselling Governing Body, thank you so much for awarding me this honorary degree. I'm completely overwhelmed, but enormously grateful to have become an honorary doctor of the University of York. Duncan, thank you also for your very kind words. I'm not sure I really recognise myself in them, but it was very nice to hear. But today, though, isn't about me. It's about all of you who have just graduated, and those of you who are about to still graduate. It's about your hard-earned degrees, and I should like to add my congratulations to those that you've already received, no doubt. When I mentioned to my children that I would have to make a speech today, they groaned in unison, and then gave me 2 pieces of advice. I'm sure the parents here will recognise that as you get older, your children are full of advice for you. But I am going to take it. The 2 pieces were keep it short and don't waffle on. So I'll try to do both. I'm not going to speak about social justice or the criminal justice system or social mobility, all of them extremely important. But rather I want to say that I'm delighted to be here at this particular ceremony. My husband and I were involved at the very beginning when planning started on the Department of Theatre, Film and Television. And to have watched TFTV morph over the years in what is now the School of Arts and Creative Technologies has been great. And what is even greater is that there are bright young people still choosing to do arts degrees. The continuing decline in arts subjects, both in schools and universities, is worrying. Financial constraints are leading to course closures at universities, and arts subjects are being dropped in schools at an alarming rate. The arts are absolutely fundamental to a civilized society and to our humanity. They strengthen communities socially, educationally, and economically. and add to our well-being. And according to recent press reports, they also add to our longevity. But I'm not quite sure how watching Die Hard 2 is going to make me live longer. We'll see. Last week, I went to the theatre on my own, the first time since my husband died. I was feeling pretty miserable, but I saw the most wonderful production of Cyrano de Bergerac, brilliant acting and staging. I laughed and I cried. Ultimately, it is quite a sad story. But I left the theatre on an absolute high, and that is the power of live performance. We have to cherish creativity in all its forms, and most arts organisations, whether they are grand opera houses, theatres, art galleries, museums, local festivals of music and drama, or music in schools, rely on philanthropy to bridge the gap between public funding and revenue. And it's not just about donating money, but also giving time, a precious commodity these days, but to volunteer and mentor. And it has been an enormous honour and privilege for me to have been able to make a small difference to some of those organisations. Now, to the mathematicians amongst you. I haven't forgotten you, but I'm afraid I'm not really qualified to speak to you. I failed my Maths O-level nearly 60 years ago, and I'm in total awe of you all. So, taking the advice of my offspring, I'm going to stop waffling and just wish each and every one of you here, graduating today, every happiness and the very best of luck in what you decide to do in the future. Thank you.